Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome in. It is Tuesday, December 17th. What? Christmas right around the corner. I'm TBob. He's Aaron Murray, and this is Snaps, what I hope is one of your favorite college football shows. Really big show planned for today because the playoffs are here, guys. Playoffs are here. You know what we do on Tuesdays, or if you don't, we preview games, and we have 4 games to get into this weekend. An absolute Friday night banger in Indiana at Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Then at 11 a.m., we got a little SMU at Penn State. That'll be followed up with Clemson going down to Austin to take on Texas. And then finally, the nightcap, Tennessee at Ohio State. So it's going to be a very fun show today. Also, shout out Axia Time and Underdog Fantasy, our 2 wonderful sponsors. Look at this, Aaron. I, like you, am an honest man, and we are going to do an unboxing on today's show with the Axia Time founder a bit later on, John Karanis. And I have not opened this. This is an LSU watch from Axia. I have not seen it. I've not opened it in real life. I am incredibly excited to open this and put it on a bit later.
Not as excited as me having a playoff caliber watch, but hey, maybe next year. Next year you'll get an upgraded watch.
Well, you know what, Aaron? If I had to guess, that's all you're going to be getting this year because you have a quarterback making his first ever start in the playoffs. Yeah, no?
Did you like my quarterback rankings heading into the playoffs?
I did like the quarterback rankings. Chuck's probably talk about them on Thursday, but I still think the logic trains that Georgia fans are using is very funny. Like, bro, did you see him take that hit? I mean, if you can take a hit like that, you're probably ready to win a national championship. We'll see. Crazier things have happened in sports, right? That's why we love sports, because, like, to me, sports really encapsulate truth is stranger than fiction. So, like, maybe Gunnar Stockton goes on some legendary run. I'm just not going to sit here and say I think it's going to happen. How do I sound? Is our audio okay to everything?
Sound great.
All right, cool.
Great. Yeah, phenomenal.
All right. We're not going to do a lot of preamble today. We're going to dive in. Actually, let me, Aaron, say something while I tweet this out real quick.
You and your Twitter, always a little bit behind.
Well, no, I like it to go live, and I've already tweeted out the YouTube, but I like it to go live and then share the actual Twitter broadcast,
Oh, you can do that. I thought it just shows up on Twitter like that you're live.
If you go to your profile, you can like quote tweet it. So I just always quote tweet it, come hang out. You got to say something though.
Well, I'm doing it now too.
Well,
you got me hooked.
No,
you got me hooked.
That defeats the purpose. If you want to do what I'm talking, I can filibuster.
Come hang out. Appreciate everyone joining us today on a Tuesday. Excited to break these games. First ever 12-team playoff gets going on TNT this weekend.
Yeah, dude. Wait, so I haven't looked this up, but we're not in the best timeline ever where we get the NBA on TNT crew just on TNT, right? Like, there's no way they're actually doing that. Though I think that would be the funniest.
I think it's just on TNT, but every person you will see is an ESPN person.
Oh, fuck. Lame.
Yeah.
It would have been, oh my God, it would have made my weekend if it would have been Chuck, Kenny, Shaq,
oh my God,
and Ernie and the boys breaking down college football. Oh, it would have been so good.
You know what? Yeah, another interesting fact I heard.
Dude, we got to do something. Give us the boys, give us the NBA and TNT crew somewhere in there. Like, yeah, imagine Chuck and Chuck discussing Indiana.
Oh, it'd be so
exactly. Good. Beast moves right, dude.
This is the first time that ESPN has been to Notre Dame since the 90s, I believe.
What?
Because NBC has all their home games.
Oh, wow. Funny. Had not considered that.
Yeah.
All right.
Wild times.
Well, without further ado, hit the like button, sub to the channel. Thank you all so much for being with us here today. Let's go ahead and dive in to today's show. We're just going to go in order of the games, but I want to start with a bit of playoff talk here at the beginning. Like you said, 12-team playoff is finally here. And Aaron, have you thought at all about common themes that you think kind of permeate the bracket? Because when I think back on the college football season as a whole, one thing that I think was especially apparent, it always is in college football, but I almost felt like it was especially apparent this year, was home field advantage.
Yeah.
If you think about all the major games we broke down this year, when did the away team win? Obviously, Georgia at Texas. I was going to say that's the one that jumps to mind. Is there another one that jumps to the forefront of your mind, though? I mean, Ohio State was close, but Oregon emerges with the win.
Michigan beat Ohio State at Ohio State. Ohio State beat Penn State at Penn State.
Oh, I forgot Ohio State was at Penn State. Okay. So there's a couple examples.
There's been some.
Michigan one's a bit weirder because that was like, that was a 20-point spread. I'm talking about you got a big dog and a big dog, But no, that's not entirely true because, but that is a road upset. So it has happened a couple times. Upsets. It is. I
think the two ones that we would consider, obviously, all playoff teams would be Ohio State beating Penn State, Georgia beating Texas, both in their respective home stadiums.
Yeah, but it seems like this year, more than most, home field advantage has been absolutely key. And so when I look at these 4 games this weekend, I like the home team in every one. I do have one game, though, in which I will be picking the away team, but we'll get there.
I'm the same with you. I have one game where I'm picking the away team. I think most people probably can guess based on the 4 and spreads and where they're at and all that. But I think the difference in this first round, and this was what most people anticipated, is obviously we perceive there's some sort of talent gap or team gap between the first round games, where the team that's ranked lower has the better roster, and the team before obviously has had the better season. They're the better football team.
We'll get into that. that. I don't think the gap is as large as people want to paint it out.
With what games? Besides maybe 2 of them, I would think 2 of them. I would say different.
We'll get into it, won't we?
Okay.
Other kind of common themes: defense. It's funny. You look at the top scoring defense of the entire country. 6 of the top 12 defenses in the playoff. Really, 6 of the top 8. So no surprise there, right? The more things change, the more stay the same. Ohio State's got the number 1 scoring defense. Texas number 2. Notre Dame 3. Tennessee 4. Indiana 6. Penn State 8. Okay, and where do they all find themselves in the playoff? Interestingly, if you look at the top scoring offenses and defenses, there's 3 teams in the playoff that are in both. And it's Notre Dame, it's Indiana, and it's actually Tennessee, which I found to be a bit surprising. Both the top 10, the number 8 scoring offense of the country, number 4 scoring defense. You know who else, who is the only other team that's in both? Ole Miss.
Tragedy.
You want to talk about just really fumbling the bag. You had a top 10 scoring offense and a top 10 scoring defense, and you could not make a 12-team playoff.
You know what's also jumps up
to 1 loss. You lost to 1 win, Kentucky.
You know, also jumps up off the page to me when I look at these teams in the playoffs. It was shocking when I made my quarterback list, and I know we're going to talk about it on Thursday, but you talk about defenses kind of being the theme here. The lack of star power from the quarterback position in this playoff is mind-blowing.
To me, it's an overall theme in all of football.
Yeah.
Not just college, like college football, quarterback play way down, interceptions way up, touchdowns down, ratings down, all across the board. But look at the NFL. I mean, you got your Josh Allen for sure, but in the NFL this year, offensive scoring, touchdowns, all of it way down. Defenses right now are going through a bit of a heater. Mm-hmm. The meta has shifted, and we've gone a bit more old school where the best defenses and the teams that can run the ball are the most consistent. And those are themes that we will see throughout the entirety of these breakdowns. So let's go ahead then and start to break down these games. And we start with the expensive ticket of the week, Murray, by far, and that is Indiana and Notre Dame. And I want to set the scene a bit before we get into the actual on-the-field matchups. You know what's crazy, Aaron? You're 33, right?
34.
34, okay. I'm 35, And I realized today Notre Dame has not won a national championship since 1988. 36 years. So quite literally, we have never been alive on the earth when the Irish have lifted the ultimate trophy. And it's not like they haven't been close, right? They played for a natty in the BCS era in 2012. This is their third trip to the playoffs in the playoff era. And many people think that this is actually their best chance to finally finish that journey.
God, you're really fucking up the words on this one.
And it's a chance for Notre Dame to prove that, look, Brian Kelly was more of the problem, not Notre Dame. After that embarrassing breakup in which Kelly basically said, look, it was you, not me.
Mm-hmm.
And that Marcus Freeman is the man to lead them through. I think it's also a chance for Notre Dame to validate their no conference status, which they hold on to so dearly. And it's funny because in Notre Dame, you have one of the winningest programs throughout history, and they're going against the literal least winning program in college football history. That is not exaggeration. Nobody has won less. No one has won less than Indiana. And yet, here in year number one, Cignetti has them here. And say what you will about the schedule, but they did beat the hell out of everybody on the schedule. And right here, this is actually, Aaron, on paper, the most statistically impressive matchup of the weekend. This game is full of strength on strength.
I think it's going to be a good football game. I think for me, I think you talk about schedule for Indiana. You say the same thing about Notre Dame as well, and maybe Notre Dame has a couple of big wins that the Indiana doesn't have. I mean, I still think the A&M win's impressive, no matter where A&M's not ranked towards the end of the season. You know how I feel about Louisville. I think that's a really good football team that's not ranked, but that's still a very talented football team that it was a couple of plays away from being ranked, from being a 9-3 team. I think that's an impressive win. They beat Georgia Tech without their starting quarterback. Navy, Army, great wins, but whatever. So maybe a little bit more of an impressive resume, but overall, I think both these teams head into this playoff fans saying it from the outside, hey, we don't truly know if we believe you should be in here because your schedule, because the fact that you didn't play in a conference championship game, whatever that narrative might be. So it's a big opportunity for them in this stage, primetime, Friday night, all eyeballs on these two teams. And, for how much crap I give the Hoosiers, it is a good football team. And going back and watching that game against Ohio State and seeing how they did play in the first half and seeing how they kind of controlled the game early on, then some of the misfortune that
they couldn't block it. That's the question.
They couldn't, but then they had the special teams block. They had the return. I'm saying there were some interesting things that happened where I still don't think Indiana wins, but it has a chance to be a closer game on the road against Ohio State. So Indiana has pieces to go in there and win this football game.
I completely agree. And it's interesting you mentioned kind of the similar resumes and why I say on paper, statistically, the most dominant two teams matching up. Check this out. Indiana, currently second in the country, scoring 43.3 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame scoring defense, third in the country, giving up only 13 points per game. Notre Dame scoring offense right behind Indiana, third in the country, 39.8 points a game, basically 40. But Indiana scoring defense right behind Notre Dame, sixth in the country, 14.7. So, they haven't played anybody, but both have dominated everybody that they played. Here is, I have two key matchups that I'm looking at here. From the Indiana perspective, can you block the Irish pass rush? Because when I think back to the Ohio State game, what absolutely murdered Indiana was a complete inability to block on the edge, to pass block Ohio State's edges. And when you look at Notre Dame, Aaron, an incredible defense, but it does seem like more of their strength is on the back end.
You say that, though, but like Notre Dame, who have they played this year that can really throw the football?
Oh, that's fair. So maybe it's not like, maybe it's a bit of like a stylistic, maybe it's like a bit of result of style because you play games against Army and you play games.
Let's just go against like the two teams that could throw the football in Notre Dame's schedule. The two teams that have a passing attack, quarterback, receivers. First off was Louisville. Tyler Shuck went 24-41, 264, and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad day at the ballpark.
That's pretty good.
But then you look at the rest of the schedule. Like A&M that's when Wegman was quarterback, not great receivers. Like that's
So wait, who's the other team that can throw?
I know. I'm just going to go back.
Okay.
Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army. Like, there's not one team on there. There's two teams that run the option. There's not one team on there that can throw the football. And then you get to USC a week ago with their backup, or not a week ago, but last game of the season with their backup quarterback. He goes 27, 49, 360, and 3 touchdowns. Had the 2 picks.
Wow.
Possibly pick sixes at the end, but they were throwing the ball pretty well.
So like big red flag for Notre Dame.
This is the stat that we have to talk about of like, oh my God, the back end, they're so strong in the back end. They've only faced 2 teams that can throw the football the entire year. They have not been tested, which to me, if Indiana can protect up front, I do think Notre Dame is maybe a little bit vulnerable on the back end, and you can get some yards against the secondary.
Very interesting, man. A very good angle by Aaron Murray there that I hadn't really considered, because there is one thing I believe in Curtis Rourke in this Indiana offense. Like, I think they are legitimately good, and I think they are multiple orders of magnitude better than Tyler Shuck. And was it my for USC? What?
I would not say significantly better. Maybe than USC. Louisville.
You don't think Rourke is significantly better than Tyler Shuck and Jordan Mailata?
I would say Indiana 1, Louisville 2, USC 3, but I don't think that there's a massive gap between the two.
Okay, Curtis Rourke, the literal highest rated quarterback in the entire country, 10 yards per attempt, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 70% completion. Let's see where Shuck is here. 23 touchdowns, 6 picks, 8 yards per attempt, same amount of yards, 8 percentage points less in completion percentage. Shuck's fine. Rourke's been significantly better this year in a harder conference. What? The Big Ten's harder than
to the fuck they play.
I'm so sick of this who they play game. Like, the Big Ten has more talent than the ACC. We accept these things as true.
This is true.
Whatever. My point is, it's a very salient point by you in terms of defense, because I think Curtis Rourke can exploit that. But for Notre Dame to be successful, what do they want to do? They want to control the game. They want to run the ball. And here's where it, again, is strength on strength. Notre Dame, 10th best rush offense in the country. They average 6 yards a carry. They average 224 yards per game. Indiana only allowing 2.5 yards a carry and a shocking 70 yards per game on the ground. Now, I would say, Aaron, I think this is such an outlier. For instance, Indiana's given up 70. Ole Miss is second in the country at 83. Then Michigan's third at 92. Shout out to SMU. They're actually fourth. But why I think this is interesting, or at least why I think this margin is so wide, is because Indiana's beat the shit out of everyone so badly that, like, you just couldn't run the ball. You had to try to throw your way back into the game. So I still think this is an elite Indiana rush defense, but do you think it can hold up against one of the best rushing offenses, and one with a quarterback,
mobile quarterback too?
Yeah, and Riley Leonard, who is the key behind that rushing.
Well, and also you want to make sure that Riley Leonard's not put in a situation where he's having to throw the football. So I do think that there's an urgency for Notre Dame to not get behind in this game. Like, if I'm Indiana, if you can take some shots early, if you can find a way to do what you did against Ohio State, I feel really comfortable. Like, Indiana can play from behind. Like, Indiana can find a way to make a comeback. If Notre Dame does go down, if Indiana does, if Kurt Zanetti, which he's tremendous at, can create some excitement early on, create some explosive, get some points on the board, and put Riley Leonard in a position where he's having to throw the football more than Notre Dame wants, I think that gets interesting. And I think that's major advantage to the Hoosiers. So I think Riley has to do what he's done all year: protect the football, run it well. And Jeremiah Love has to be one of the premier running backs in college football. And I think that's the game plan. Plain simple. Run it, play great defense, limit explosive plays, and just bully Indiana. And because I do believe the advantage for Notre Dame is still in the trenches. They are bigger, they're more physical on the offensive line and defensive line. That's where you have to win the game if you're the Irish.
Indiana's D-line is pretty damn good, though. I mean, you saw Ohio State. They were. I mean, then again, Ohio State, that's probably their weakest part of the game.
Yeah, that's going to keep Ohio State from winning maybe this game versus Tennessee.
But even right there, you see the themes that we talked about at the beginning. Aaron kind of talking about how Notre Dame wants to win this game. It's kind of a lot of teams in this playoff are going to want to win this game.
I think the only team in this playoff that wants to win a game that are shootouts is Oregon. I think the majority of teams.
SMU would like to, but
yeah, I guess SMU too.
But
I think 90% of these teams in this playoff, compared to interesting in years past, the mindset is don't fuck it up on offense.
Yeah.
Play great defense. As long as we don't turn it over, we have a chance to win these games. I don't think anyone wants their quarterback to go out there and win them a football game right now.
Who has the coaching advantage here? Because I'm going Cignetti. I think it's real interesting hearing and reading people who have.
I would say Cignetti a little bit too.
Who have worked with Kurt Cignetti and how they describe his ability to game plan as a bit of a superpower.
Yeah.
He has that kind of Belichick smart thing where it's like, whatever you do best, we're going to make sure to take that away. Mm-hmm. And then you have to prove to be able to beat us a different way. Now, Ohio State, they couldn't do that because Ohio State's skill positions eventually, when combined with special teams takes and everything, eventually those skill positions separated. I don't see that gap with Notre Dame. So if you're telling me Notre Dame wants to run the ball, like I think I think Indiana's going to be well suited to trying to force success elsewhere. And offensively, I know, especially what you just told me, I know that they're going to be able to find some offensive success with Curtis Work and company. I think I've changed my pick in talking about this game.
I'm going to say the more we talk about it, I feel like you're going to pick Indiana in this game.
I wasn't planning on it, but I think you've actually convinced me.
I feel like I've convinced me too.
I was giving Notre Dame's defense perhaps a bit more overwhelming respect than they deserve. Maybe this head gets thrown in my face, but again, too, who had the lower moment, right?
What?
Who had the lower moment this season, though? Like it's undeniable. 100%. It's Notre Dame. They lost 100%. To Northern Illinois at home. Like 100%. So we sit here and shit on Indiana for their loss, but Notre Dame lost to a middling Northern Illinois team, not even a good one.
And it is interesting too with Indiana. We talk about going against the run. The games where they were going against teams that as we broke down those games, perceived as advantage for the other team when it comes to physicality. They were the more physical team. Nebraska, Michigan, Ohio State, at times, especially early on in that game. Look at the
Michigan rush numbers. That would be fascinating. What did Michigan run for against Indiana?
Not much. I just had it. Michigan ran for 69 yards, 2 yards per carry.
Bro, that's crazy.
I agree. And I believe the Ohio State rush yards came later in the game too.
I'm going Indiana. I'm going Indiana on the road. What's the spread here? 7, right?
7.
I mean, I'm smashing Indiana +7.
I would definitely take Indiana with a +7. I think Notre Dame wins by a field goal.
All right. There you go. First preview in the books. Coming up next, this will be 11 a.m. on Saturday, SMU at Penn State. And Aaron, this is a bit of a main character game here. As to me, this is all about Penn State. Yeah. SMU is playing with complete house money. I mean, they're playing with that Dallas house money. How about this? I was reading about how SMU got here. First off, they have multiple billionaires in there, like on their chair. I know people tell you, but the more you read, the more you learn just how fucking wild the money is at SMU. But Paul B. Lloyd Jr. kind of spearheaded this. They put $200 million together like it was chump change to make this all happen. So first off, out of the 200, 100 just went to facilities, stuff like that, to keep up with the Joneses. The other 100 million was just to pay their way out of the AAC TV deal. Like it was fucking nothing. 100 milli that just, you might as well light on fire, and they didn't give a shit. And now they're in the playoff, and now enrollment's up 40%. Damn near won the ACC championship. I mean, it's actually insane how good
they didn't win the ACC championship game. They came in second.
I said damn near.
Damn near. Okay.
But all that to say, this is a god-awful matchup. And my God, Penn State, if you do not win this, then how could you ever have faith in James Franklin again?
We said it from the beginning. The playoffs were made for a couple teams, one being Penn State. This is your moment. You did what you needed to do. You got a home game. Like that, expectations were, I don't think anyone was expecting them to win the Big Ten. between Oregon and Ohio State. You weren't going to get there, but could you get a home game? One, make the playoffs, two, get a home game. So you checked off both those boxes. Plus, you did get to the Big Ten championship game. You got a good quarterback. You got the great news that Aller's coming back next year, which we talked about yesterday on the show. Yep. A lot of positive momentum for the Nittany Lions right now, and you do have the better roster of the two. And you're at home, and it's going to be cold, and this is a team from Texas. Yeah. There is absolutely zero excuse while Penn State should just not line up and just run the football and just beat to death a team that is not equipped to be in this kind of environment when it comes to the climate.
I mean, it's interesting, right? It's a god-awful spot for SMU stylistically. They're finesse, they're flashy, they're more horizontal, east-west. It's a god-awful spot for them in the setting. You mentioned the Dallas team going to the freezing cold. And I was talking to Jay Kester about this morning on our radio show, and of course he played for the Denver Broncos. And he said, look, in my experience in those, and you would know, playing in KC and Philly and places like that, but when it gets cold, doesn't matter if it's snow or not, but just when it gets cold, north-south teams do better. And so here you have a horizontal, not like north-south geographically, like teams that want to go vertical, like north and south, like, power. So here you have a team in SMU that is more horizontal, lighter, flashier, speedier against just when I think of Penn State's offense, it reminds me a bit of like construction equipment, like a bulldozer, like a jackhammer, just and in that cold weather, I don't see the angle for SMU here at all.
They can run the football. They can run it. They got the running back. They got the quarterback that's mobile. But I just think the physicality in which Penn State has built their brand, especially on the defense side of the football, their ability to run it with Singleton and Allen. And, the one question is interesting, and this is just for Penn State going forward through the entire process, is obviously you would love Prabula, the quarterback, to be in there to run the football, to add that dynamic. Yeah, to be in there, especially in the red zone, third down situations. He's obviously not going to be a part of the team because he's in the portal.
Right?
Yeah, he's in the portal. So that kind of sucks for them. I don't think it's going to affect him this game. I think maybe going forward it affects him a little bit. But let's not make it complicated. You're bigger, you're stronger, you're faster, you're at home. Play to your advantages. You're going to win this football game. And you cover the spread too.
And look, I understand why SMU made the playoff, certainly. But at the same time, this is a team that had the easiest Power 4 schedule in the entire country.
Yeah.
And look what happened when they ran into a team that was bigger and stronger in Clemson. Unbelievable comeback, but they looked outclassed for a long time. I would say this. SMU does have a surprisingly big and strong.
They were 24-7 at halftime.
Well, SMU has a surprisingly strong front seven too. Like there's some big guys up front. Maybe they match up okay there with Penn State, but they're just too complete. Penn State is too complete in the setting of where this game is taking place. If this was inside in fast track, I started to give SMU a bit of an outside chance. I just don't see it in Beaver Stadium. And I called this a main character game because this is all about James Franklin. James Franklin and Penn State have not had a top 5 win since 2016. In fact, when they beat Ohio State in 2016, Aaron, that is Penn State's only top 5 win since 1999. One top 5 win in the new millennium. In James Franklin's time there, they're 1-14 against top 5 teams, 3-19 against top 10 teams. Now, lucky for them, this game is actually neither. But it just shows you in big games, Penn State's been awful. Check this out. This is I took this screenshot from an Athletic article. This is teams' records against is it top 5 or top 10? Hold on, let me look. Okay, this is against top 5 opponents. Of course, look at your Bulldogs, 11-6. Very impressive stuff there. Ohio State coming in next, 10-8. Then Clemson at 8-9, little Clemson. Oregon, very respectable 5-5. And then for as much as we shit on Penn State, guys, every other team's pretty much Penn State as well. Yeah. Which makes sense. It's top 5 teams, right? But Notre Dame 2-7, Arizona State 1-3, Texas 1-8, Penn State's 1-14, Tennessee's 1-15, Indiana 0-16.
That
would be one.
You sure want to change that pick?
Bro, nothing about Indiana's past is an indicator of the future, okay?
Mm-hmm.
SMU 0 for 3, and Boise hasn't played a top 5 guy. So, and I think this might be new millennium. I'm not 100. Well, I'm not sure where the time period on this. But as you can see, it's been god awful for Penn State, and this is a chance for them to start to change some of that narrative. I think Penn State wins and wins big. What's the spread here?
7.5. I agree with you. I think they win when they win big in this matchup for
It's 7.5.
It is 8.5.
I'm smashing the cover.
I'll still take Penn State.
I'm smashing the Penn State cover to go up to 10.
I just think Aller, we talked about yesterday. I know the stats may not look the same as they did a year ago, maybe in touchdowns and picks, but completion percentage is up almost 10%. He's playing significantly better. Plus, he's running the football at times really well too. Like, don't discredit his legs in this football game at all. So, I do like Drew and Penn State big.
Just because of masochist beast move, James, that's would you take Penn State to beat Alabama? I would give Alabama a much better chance in this game, but I think if you look at what Penn State does well, it is the exact stuff that has given Alabama trouble this year. So yes, I would take Penn State to beat Alabama. Alabama's run defense leaves a lot.
Enough of the Alabama shit. You lost 3 games.
I said masochist. I said I was just wanted to enjoy and to engage in the
No. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to other people. Like, if Alabama was good enough, they would not have 3 losses on their resume. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Like, move on.
Next up on the list. Oh, look at that. Little old Clemson.
Oh, by the way, do you want to do some some picks for this game real quick? For those two, since we
okay, well, we're gonna run into if we do the underdog picks now, then we go straight to Axia, and then we maybe preview the other 2 games on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, bring up the picks then.
Okay, here we go.
Well, here are you, Dak Prescott.
What do you mean?
Here we go. You never heard how Dak Prescott does his snap count?
He does that?
Wait, what? Yes, he goes, here we go. He literally like says like, here we go. That's and like holds it out there for a while. God. Yeah, it's bad. So and bad. It's funny now because like, you have to do what the starting quarterback's cadence is.
So everyone has to do it.
Yeah, so Cooper runs out there. Here we go. Emil says Notre Dame is 5-0 in November, both outright against the spread under Freeman. I mean, but what does that mean? I mean, it's December, right?
It's December. How does that help us?
Yeah, Dallas backup does the same thing. Well, you have to do with the starting quarterback's cadence. Okay, guys. So this is Underdog Fantasy. If you've never played Underdog Fantasy before, it is very fun. It's got great daily fantasy. This is the college football pick'em. These are very fun where you just go higher and lower on players. You build out a slip. You can make them really big, but it's like really easy to get big paydays here. So we're going to go through a couple of games. And remember, if you sign up with the promo code SNAPS, you receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. So if you sign up, go to Underdog Fantasy, and the more y'all sign up, the more they know it's coming from us because it says Snaps, and that helps them be like, oh my God, we're very glad that we chose to advertise Snaps. And we love both Underdog and Axia because they took chances on us and they did not ask for any content control, nothing. And so we really appreciate that. So when you sign up, use Snaps, however much money you put in, they will match up to $1,000 and you get a free pick. Underdog, let's go through the picks.
All right, we're going to do the 2 games that we just talked about. So obviously up first will be Indiana and Notre Dame. We'll make 2 picks from this game and then make 2 picks from the other game as well. And
after what you just laid out, we have got to go higher on the Curtis Rourke passing yards.
I want to lean quarterbacks in this one. So I am going to go higher for Curtis Rourke. And I actually want to go, I do think Riley Leonard gets
a rushing touchdown,
rush or receiving touchdown.
Receiving touchdown, little trickery.
It's rush plus. I think it's rush or.
No. I'm sorry. I'm joking. It's rush or. But I'm just laughing that they threw that.
Yeah. Those are our 2 picks. Let's see if there's anything else that really jumps out. I mean, I do love Jeremiah Love over 69.5 rush yards. I mean,
really? Travion Henderson got like 62 or
yeah,
63.
but he's rolling right now at home. I think it's going to be cold. I think they're just going to feed him the right. Like, I think Jeremiah Love's going to
Hold on. First off, put in, what would it be right now? If we love our two and we're just doing two picks that we love, put in an amount and like do $50. What would we win? Look at that.
132.
If you have two things go right, guys, two things go right. Riley Leonard scored, Curtis works those over 201, both which feel very real. Look at that. Underdog Fantasy, you get 132. Bam. That easy.
Easy peasy.
Now, what if you want to push Jeremiah? What if you want to push two more picks in there? Do the Jeremiah Love and see. You want to do it. You've been talking about it all day.
I just think he's going to get 20 to 25 carries. So I just
higher than 69.5 yards.
Yeah. Or you can do the flex. If you get 2 correct, you only get $1. If you get 3 correct, you get 134. Or if you do the standard, you get 269.
And then would you throw a fourth in there?
Well, we're gonna do a couple from the other game.
Oh, you want to combine both games in one slip?
Yes.
Oh, see, I prefer to play the games independently, but let's try it. Well, then take Love off there because there's some reason it's saying the projections are inactive on Love. Maybe it's because you got to add somebody from the other team.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the other game then.
All right, let's go down to SMU Penn State.
Kevin Jennings, 17.5 rush yards. That's a low number.
Yeah, but I think they're thinking sacks.
I know.
I think they're thinking that they're going to have to come back. He may get some sacks in the game. What did he get
Aller,
last week?
13.5 rush yards?
See, I like Aller over 13.5 rush yards.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because I don't think he's going to get sacked much. I can see him taking off, getting a couple first downs with his legs.
I think I'm kind of inclined to agree. How many sacks? SMU did lead the Big 12 in sacks, 40 sacks in the year, 3 sacks a game.
So last week, Clemson had 2 sacks. Jennings ended up having 35 rush yards.
Well, let's look at other ones. We don't have to do the quarterbacks.
I know.
Let's look at some other picks real quick.
I will say this: 3 of his last 5 games, he has not hit that mark running. By the way,
who, Jennings?
Yeah.
What about Aller?
Aller, in his previous games, has running the football gotten pull the stats game log 54, 23, 8, 22, 12, 31. So more times than not, he's gone.
Feel great about the higher than 13.5 then. Yeah. All right. We're playing that.
Yep.
So right now, guys, $50 bet gets you $260 if all 3 are correct, or you flex it. If 3 are correct, you get 130, or 2 correct, you get 50 back. I wouldn't flex that. I would just play the standard 2 picks.
Do you want to do a second one from here though?
Yeah, we got to. We got to juice this thing up. One more pick. I feel like Tyler Warren betrayed us in the
he did.
In the what game was that? Last game of the season?
That was the game against Oregon. He has to get a touchdown in this game, right?
Again, I feel like he betrayed us. I'm not sure.
Oh, I like that one, but I'll let you pick this one.
It is minus odds, so it's not bad. There's nothing from SMU that we want to pick? No. It's gonna be a tough day for them. What are the rush numbers on the 2 running backs for Penn State?
Well, Smith has a ton of rush yards. If you're gonna pick one of them, you pick him.
No, sorry, from Penn State. I'm talking about Katron Allen, or do we have to go SMU here?
I don't think we have to go SMU here. Singleton for a touchdown?
Well, I mean, if we're going to go touchdown, I'm kind of with you that I feel Tyler Warren maybe.
I agree with Tyler Warren.
All right, let's do Tyler Warren then. See what happens.
It's rush or receiving.
Yeah.
All right,
there you go, guys. Look at that. So if Tyler Warren is higher than...
You want to flex it? Do we flex it or are we going standard?
We go standard.
Okay.
Shoot big.
Shoot
big.
Moon.
So if we get all the way home, but let's go down the ticket real quick. So so it's Curtis Rourke throw for over or higher than 201.5. Riley Leonard higher than half a rush out, so he needs to score. Drew Aller, higher than 13.5 rush yards. You like that? And then Tyler Warren needs to score a touchdown. And if those 4 things happen, $50 turns into $396 from your friends over there at Underdog Fantasy. Remember, you must be 18 or older. You must be 21 plus in Massachusetts, Arizona, and 19 in Alabama or Nebraska. If you play in President State, where Underdog Fantasy operates, terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, you call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. NY, call New York. Call the 247-HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, just 467-369. Every time I say 369, do you know what I want to say next?
No.
See, guys, Aaron has no culture.
None.
369, damn girl, fine. Suck it to me, one more time. Were those the Yin Yang twins, I believe?
You know, speaking of celebrities and artists, I was working out today, and in comes into the weight room was, God, what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank now? I can see his face. Fast and Furious, bald black guy.
Oh, Tyrese?
No, is it Tyrese?
Hold on,
yeah,
right?
Tyrese Gibson. Yeah, Roman Pierce. Tyrese. I was like, oh, there's that guy. Just shredded.
What's Tyrese up to, dude? You holler at him?
No, I didn't holler at him. I'm not that cool.
Were you like, Tyrese, what's up? My name's Aaron Murray. I'm the SEC's all-time leading passer. Nice to meet you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to go up with.
I mean, Tyrese, what have you done? Have you ever thrown a touchdown?
No,
in
not.
Jordan Hare? Didn't think so.
No.
Actually, hasn't Tyrese been kind of going through some things lately?
I don't know. I don't follow Tyrese. I just remember him from the movies. He's great in them. Really liked him in there.
You know, it's a dirty admission from your boy. I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious past Tokyo Drift. And everybody, I was in like 4, 5, 6, like it really starts to get insane and pop off, and then maybe like falls off a little bit after that. But yeah, I haven't seen it since. I've
maybe seen one of them. I guess I've seen a couple like with The Rock. Yeah.
Did I screw this up from a time standpoint?
No, our boy should be on right now, but
okay. No, I'm checking my emails, but no, we had okay. I get worried about time zones, you know? Like, did you know that Arizona oh yeah, it's a 12 change. Okay, cool. Yeah, Arizona doesn't change. How about that? One time we were supposed to interview Tyrann Mathieu, and that kind of tripped us up, and we were sitting there calling him like assholes like eight times in a row, and he was on like Good Morning Football or some like national show at the time.
These assholes.
I know. I'd be so fucking pissed if I was doing a phone interview and I just kept having to ignore calls. I mean, I've done it. It's annoying with my wife. Fast Five was the best. I'll get to him eventually, guys. All right. So since John's not here yet, we're still going to get to our Axia time watch reveal in a bit. But for now, let's go ahead and go back to the games. Here it is. Next on the list, little old Clemson against big bad Texas. And I got to be honest, Aaron, sometimes you know how the heart wants what it wants, and you don't exactly know how you got there.
I feel like you want both these teams to lose somehow.
No, the troll in me, that's what I'm saying. The troll in me, I'm kind of falling for Clemson. I want Clemson to win the national championship.
Oh, wow.
That's what a sick fuck I am.
You want fucking Dabo to just never go to the portal ever.
Hey, he's going to the portal. You already seen he's got commits out of the portal so far.
Oh, little boy.
But like we've all been shit on Dabo, myself included. He's already insufferable, even when things are going poorly. He would reach heretofore unseen levels of insufferability if he were to win the natty. Like he said, man, hey, we were the first ever 15-0 national champ. Why can't we be the first ever 9-3? Like, I agree. Oh, Lil old Dabo, who thinks everybody's always out to shit on him. Also, look, Texas, I've given you your roses. I took my L's from you. I ate my crow. But you motherfuckers better not let Clemson win this game. Because if you do, you ain't ever going to hear the end of it from me or the rest of the country. Like, Texas may be the one school that could cause people, the general public, to cheer for Clemson in this game.
If Texas loses this damn game, I will be shocked. I will tell you one thing that I was not thinking would happen this season would be that Clemson has a better quarterback in this game right now. Cade Klubnik has had a terrific season.
Great point.
A terrific season. 33 passing touchdowns, only 5 picks, 40 total touchdowns for Cade Klubnik. Like, he has done a complete 180 from that first game against Georgia because he watched my breakdown. He made the corrections, and he's been tremendous since then. RIP.
We'd be at 30K if ESPN would let us do those damn breakdowns.
50K if we had to do those damn breakdowns. But anyways,
subscribe.
Texas's only bugaboo this year is just Georgia. It's what Alabama is to Georgia. Georgia is to Texas, and I think Texas.
Okay, hold on. Can we explore that for a second? How is that
not
entirely true? I mean, I know I gave them credit for this game, but Arkansas played them very well, right?
Doesn't mean teams can't play them well. I'm just saying, like,
Vanderbilt played them, but I'm saying, but Clemson's better than Arkansas. Clemson's better than Vanderbilt. Like
Ewers played, but Ewers played well in those games. I think to me the big thing is we know Texas's defense is elite. The only team that has given Ewers difficulty wasn't Michigan. It wasn't Vanderbilt. It wasn't Arkansas. He had good games in those games. I thought he played really well versus A&M. Ewers has a Georgia problem. So maybe it's not a Texas thing. Quinn Ewers has a Georgia problem. Every other game that he's played in, he has played well. Oklahoma was a little shaky early in the first quarter. That's when he's come back from injury. Played, I thought, fine the rest of the game. So for him, it's like, hey, I'm not going against Georgia's defense. I think Quinn has a good game. I think the defense is elite. I think Clemson still lacks explosiveness on the outside. So, like, I am not worried that Texas is going to lose this game.
I mean, it is kind of interesting, though. It's a 10-3 team against an 11-2 team. Now, definitely, I mean, Clemson's losses can be thrown in their face and should be thrown in their face.
Yes. They got bullied by Louisville. I mean, absolutely
that's the bad one, and that was at home.
Yes.
And but isn't that so bad, Aaron, as to be head scratching? Like, it's an outlier. It's like Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois, isn't it? Like, it's not actually representative of Clemson every other week of the season. Like, losing to South Carolina when they did, there's actually no shame in that. Losing to Georgia week one, there's no shame in that.
It's a good loss.
Louisville's the bad loss, and even that was it. Again, it's just nowhere else on the schedule do they look like that team.
I mean, they got smacked by Georgia in that first game. I mean, that was so long ago.
Just like, you know what? In the opposite way, that Quinn Ewers at Michigan ain't the Quinn Ewers that we see now. I don't know. I
disagree. I think Quinn, once again, I believe Quinn plays significantly better when he's not looking across and seeing the Georgia defense. This is not the same Clemson defense that we've gotten used to watching either. So, like,
I think that is true. I think I have a little bit of that, like, your mind takes a long time to change, where I think of Clemson and I still think like elite defensive line.
I think the defense is good, and I think they got dudes. This is not the defense that you and I are accustomed to seeing. They do not have those guys on that side. Yeah. And I don't know if they have the killer instinct either. I mean, you're up for South Carolina at home. You allow them to march down the field and score and win the football game. You're up big against SMU, and hell, you almost gave that game away too. You had to kick a 50-something yard field goal to win it. When you're up by, what do we say? They're up 24-7 at halftime. It's like, I don't think Clemson has killers. I think Klubnik has been terrific, but Texas's defense is good enough to say, hey, it's a one-man band, essentially. We slow Klubnik down. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for Texas, we got to go back to our original theme, right? Home field advantage, defense, running.
As long as Quinn doesn't fuck up, which he only fucks up against Georgia, they're going to win the game. And I don't think Sark is going to put the ball in his hands enough for him to screw up.
Well, exactly, right. That's what home field advantage, defense, running the ball.
Yes.
Why did it go south for Quinn in both Georgia games? They could not get Wisner going. They could not run the ball. Yep. It's like we said, Kirby, like Belichick, like Cignetti, like I'm doing that. They take away your best thing. To your point, Aaron, Clemson's rush defense has been god awful this year. 4.5 yards a carry, which is just really bad. 150 yards a game. That ranks 14th in the ACC. And that's against a relatively weak running conference. Well, I shouldn't say weak running conference, but that's against a relatively weak schedule. Like,
I don't care what.
That is why Quinn will look okay here or play well here, because he will have a great rushing attack. They'll exploit Weiser. They'll really lean on Weiser, I think, like they've wanted to here at the kind of final run. And then Texas defense, as good as Clemson's offense is, and I think they'll have success. Texas defense is good enough at the end of the game to stop them for the most part.
Like, there's a reason why of the 3 games, this is the highest spread in Vegas's mind. This is every other game is between it's Indiana, Notre Dame 7, Tennessee, Ohio State 7, SMU, Penn State's 8.5. This is 11.5. I think they know, like, the path for Clemson to score touchdowns is going to be Cade has to play great, which he's played well this year. He has to be elite, not just throwing the football, but running the football as well. And I think that's just a lot to ask on the road against what I still believe is the best defense in college football.
Tommy Doak says the pressure's on Texas, though. Clemson is on house money. What other games has Texas had the pressure?
Georgia in an SEC championship game.
Yeah, and they lost both, but it's a much better, Georgia's better than Clemson. Yeah. To be fair. I'm a bit interested to see how Texas performs under the pressure, right? I mean, last year's playoff, they lost to a Washington team that they were supposed to beat. But they have big wins. I mean, they went in Alabama and in Michigan, I guess.
I just think Quinn
really handled A&M at the end of the year, which A&M's very flawed, but the way that they just like strangled that game out. I'm speaking in terms of the ability to handle pressure, to go into College Station, SEC championship berth on the line, and just really just like strangle that game, control the. Yeah, I think Texas can handle the pressure. Sorry, I was working through that question live. I think Texas can handle the pressure. Yeah.
I mean, if you go through Quinn's season too, it's not. I think we get caught up into we including myself projected Quinn to have this incredible season, Heisman-like season, contending for maybe the top quarterback in college football, and he obviously did not reach that and played really bad in big-time games. But I thought he's played well in other games, the majority of games this season. So I anticipate getting the best of Quinn with Wisner running the football. Quinn's going to go 21 of 30 for 220 and 2 touchdowns and call it a game.
mean, it's like you say that, Aaron, but like you wouldn't really be singing anybody's praises with Quinn's raw numbers. They're 7.6 yards per attempt, which is not impressive.
Yeah, 25 touchdowns though.
25 is not bad to
not
9 picks, though. That's basically like 2-1, which granted they're up, like we said, they're up in the league right now. But again, the 7.6 yards per carry, he's a check down assassin.
Yeah. I'm a little shocked though with Texas's weapons, the lack of big plays that we saw early on in the season. I feel like early in the season you saw explosive plays. You saw some explosive plays versus Georgia. I mean, you harped on that. Like a lot of empty yards.
That's the only thing you had success with, actually.
Yeah, they had explosive plays. They couldn't figure out how to run the ball from there. So I think if you get those explosives and then run it on top of that against a defense that's not stopping the run, I think Texas runs away with it. I think they cover.
You want to hear the wildest shit you'll ever hear about quarterback ratings in the SEC? Peyton Thorne. Who would have had this for the year? Peyton Thorne, higher rated than Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck.
Ooh.
He has a 150 QB rating to 148 for Ewers and 145 for Beck. Wild.
I'm with me on the chat. This is what I told you last week. Like, and I know you're like wasted yard. Like, they felt like they were dominating the game in the first half. To me,
what I'm saying though, what I still am maintaining is that I see how y'all arrived there, but it was not as bad as the numbers looked because they were never having play-to-play success. They were getting off these big plays at a higher clip than I would have thought. But
yeah, there's a lot of them though.
But when it came to fucking nut cutting time, could they ever assert themselves and make the play that had to be made.
I still win the halftime feeling that, oh my God, I feel like the floodgates are going to open for Texas compared to Georgia.
No, but even we were texting at halftime. We said, me and you both talking about how like this is one of those games where, okay, you survive the flurry. You're lucky that it's 6-3, but now it's almost like the momentum.
But once again, you use the word lucky. You're very lucky that it's 6-3.
But then the momentum, but those games have a way of playing out where the momentum flips then.
Or they start figuring out the way to actually punch it in.
Not if it's two good teams. I don't know. Because like, think about the law of averages.
Georgia had really bad moments throughout the season where you didn't.
I don't want to make this into. I do not want to make this into a Georgia segment, but think about like the law of averages, right? If you see a guy throw for 300 in the first half, is your mindset he's going to throw for 300 again?
No, God, no.
Exactly. That was kind of like Texas in that game. It was like the gap was so wide, like you knew it had to rubber band a bit back more even. I think Texas will be able to assert themselves in Clemson's in ways they could not. I think Texas wins. I would not take Texas to cover here, though. What's the spread?
11.5. I would take Texas to cover. Do you think Arch plays more in this game? Do you think that this is the beginning of we have to find Arch more PT in the playoffs?
I don't, but I would cede to you, and I would cede to Colt McCoy. And, I think people who know better that have said that.
I could see it being like A&M where you use him in situational football, red zone, third downs, places that you
I guess it is what cost you against Georgia, right? So,
yeah. Why not? It's not like he's not like he can't throw the football.
Okay, so what's the spread here?
11.5. I have Texas
winning, not covering.
I have Texas winning and covering.
Oh, well. Dylan Pittman says, TBob, you got to stop with the zesty voice. I'm not watching live, but we know what I'm talking about. What's my zesty voice? Is that when I go, hey, now?
Hey, now.
No, terrible. Or like you listen to rap songs like, Cannon. Damn, son, where did you get this beat? Was that good?
I think you sent our boy the wrong link, you jackass.
I told him to text me.
All right, I'm going to jump out, send the link. I'll be right back. Filibuster.
All right, I got you. That's weird. Damn, son, where'd you find this? Some guy says now in like Clemson, Tennessee has a good defense, maybe the best front seven in the country. The lisp, Dylan? No, I was just talking about Adam Thieneman, the safety from Purdue, that is now going to. Meal says, I'm out on Alex Garland war films. Why? Civil War is great, right? That new war movie he has looks unbelievably intense. 28 years later, What happened? Did you get him?
I just sent the link. Did we lose your?
Hey, there we go.
Oh, weird.
Hey, John, my bad, dude. It might have been user error on my part. I might have screwed up the.
Might have been. It was user error on your part.
Well, not necessarily, Aaron, because it
was.
could have been StreamYard's fault.
No.
So never let somebody blame you if you have an out. And so I'm going to say it was likely StreamYard's fault. But if I take these arrows, I will. Guys, John Canaris, we cannot thank John enough for joining us. John is the founder of Axia Time, our first major sponsor. We've been talking about him. You know him, you love him. We're about to do our live unboxing. I got to start here. You are the official sponsor of both the college football playoff, which we've been telling about, and the Heisman. On yesterday's show, we played the video of like the making of the Heisman watches. We saw the pictures with the Heisman finalists. So you were in New York last week then?
I was. It was like a coming out for the brand. It was really cool.
The Heisman watch is absolutely stunning. What was that experience like?
It's like a dream come true. this was a side hustle until February 1st of this year. Like, I was doing this as a passion project, and it just grew and grew. And then, in January, we sold more watches than we did all of last year combined after Michigan won the national championship. And I'm like, all right, got to do this full time. And between then, February 1st and now, to be on the stage with a Heisman finalist, like I'm still pinching myself. It's just crazy.
So I am like a Heisman winner that we haven't seen in 100 years, like a truly singular winner
in a very tight race too. I'll say this: I love all the watches. I'm excited to open up the Georgia one and obviously see the playoff logo along with it. Unfortunately for TBob, LSU does not have that, but I still say the Heisman one. Unfortunately, none of us are Heisman winners on this call right now. The Heisman one is my favorite one of all. Like, how would you rank, or what is your favorite? Like, do you like the Heisman more than the team ones?
Yeah, I mean, the Heisman one is like next level for us. It's the nicest one we've done yet. And actually, we're working on a collab watch with Colorado and Heisman that hopefully I'll be able to reveal soon, even nicer than the Heisman watch that we did. Ooh. And in fact, when I was at the Heisman weekend, I got a chance to meet a lot of the former Heisman winners like Tim Tebow and Desmond Howard, Archie Griffin. And I pitched the idea of doing collab watches with them and their schools and their other Heisman winners. So imagine a Florida Heisman collab.
They won in.
With Tim Tebow, Coach Spurrier, Werfel, right? And then Michigan with Desmond Howard and Charles Woodson. Ooh. So, yeah, some really cool stuff coming.
Maybe like LSU with like Joe Burrow and
I would love it. They weren't there, so I didn't get a chance to pitch them. But yeah, that would be all. And I'm already licensed with LSU, as you know.
Yes,
you're about to check out your LSU watch.
Yeah, so that's okay. So there are some schools that we already have the license to that did not have to make the playoff to get their watch. So we'll get you those again as we have. But look at the detail on this video, guys.
I love the Heisman.
The Heisman logo just being snuck in where it can. Who designs these, John? Like, what's your design process look like?
Yeah, so I've got a designer with whom I work. So we collaborate, the two of us, and we kind of brainstorm ideas. Like for me, the design, there's a couple of things about the design. One, it's got to be subtle and elegant. Like there's got to be this elegance to it. Because it's not about bragging that I won the Heisman. The watch is a vehicle to keep your memories close. Right? It's not about bragging of where you went to school or anything. It's about you and your memories. That's what the watch is about. Now, there's a lot of symbolism in this design, which I'm really excited about and proud of. So first, the premium components. So the case and all the metal is titanium 5, which is a premium metal, super durable, super light. And then we plated it a bronze color as to pay homage to the trophy itself. Then we went with the Roman numerals for the classic design, kind of honoring the Heisman tradition. We put the logo in subtle places, like at 12 o'clock. We put it on the crown, the part that kind of winds the watch, on the rotor, on the buckle. So because it's a Heisman watch. It's not about Axia. It's about Heisman. Now on the dial, you don't see my logo anywhere on the dial, but it's there. It's really subtle. And same thing on your watches. You'll see like the Axia logo is not on the watches that you guys are about to unbox, but it's there very subtly at the base of the second hand. So if you follow the second hand all the way down to the middle of the watch, that little triangle at the base of the second hand, that's my logo. So it's there. It's really, really subtle.
I mean, again, so all this speaks to the effort put in and the thought and care put into this. And here you see, look at all the finalists with their watches. There he is, the man himself.
Looks good on him. Looks good.
Says it all. Yeah.
It's the right colors too. It worked out nicely for him to win it.
and then here, guys, if your team is in the college football playoff, these are now on sale. Okay, the sale is live. You can go onto axiatime.com, AXIA. And if you're talking about a gift idea for the college football fan in your life, you could not get him something better than this. Mm-hmm. And you see, for each school, there's a couple of different price points. If you want to go a really nice, maybe a bit more affordable. But look, I mean, the
one that surprises me the most is the Oregon one. Like I was really worried about that green and yellow. Like how would it look on a watch?
Oh, it looks stunning.
Great.
It came out great.
Especially like
where's the Boise one?
Yellow band. Look at the Boise one's up here at the top. Look at it. The blue,
I would be more concerned with the blue and orange.
Field, dude.
I'd be more concerned with that color.
But again, like not only are they for everyday use, memories, everything else, but when we are speaking on game day fits, okay, game day fits, everybody likes to get these fits off. You want to be unique. There's 100 each of these, okay? So you get one of these, and I can almost guarantee you that other people will not have it. Like you will truly, and we say, you know, watches that tell more than time, because what John was talking about, like the memories and what it means to you when you look at it, what it evokes. That's exactly what we're talking about. Like this is one of a kind for the playoff tennis.
And let's not forget the first time 12-team playoff too. So
yeah, exactly.
There's a little bit more to it.
God,
I like the Notre Dame.
So the one that's pretty cool, and Aaron, you're about to see it in the watch that you're going to unbox. So on the Argos version, so the one with the white dial, the part that's colored on the dial, it's called the chapter ring. If you read starting at 12 o'clock and it goes all the way around, it says Road to Atlanta. So it's kind of a nod to getting to Atlanta for the championship game.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to say for LSU, does it say like Bayou Bengals?
It does.
I think it says. I think it says good luck next year.
Okay. We got a fucking comedian on here. Okay, relax.
The repeating pattern on the dial just says Tigers.
Oh heck yes, dude! All right, is it unboxing time, boys?
It's unboxing time.
Okay.
Unboxing time.
Okay. I've had this now for a few days, and I have not peeked inside. Let me get back over here. I am very excited. Check this out. Beautiful, subtle, matte black box here.
I actually got playoffs on my. Here we go. Let's see. Did you
Official timepiece of the college football playoff. Look at that. We got the CFP logo right there. I've never had a nice watch in my life, by the way, either, guys. Like this is because even the watches we used to get for football were trash quality. Like felt like, you know, Chinatown, New York City quality. Some
guy in the chat says I'm buying myself the Georgia watch. Just can't wait to see what mine looks like. It's sweet. I did a sneak peek. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to yesterday.
What's the idea behind this case, John? This is beautiful. This leather carrying case.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be kind of both cool and practical. So like if you're going on a trip, you want to throw it in your backpack, it keeps it safe, but it's not bulky or anything. And like the whole
it's a
notion
soft
of like
leather too. It's a soft. Y'all can't tell by looking at it. It's nice and worn. Oh my
God, that red and black look nice.
You're getting goosebumps, boys. Oh my God. And then okay, check that out, guys.
So it comes with multiple straps. So all of our watches come with multiple straps, and then the tools that you need to either adjust the bracelet, take some links out, or if you have a NATO strap like that purple, and
I like the red
so you get a screwdriver.
Custom Axia screwdriver.
Yep.
Beautiful yellow. Oh, my green screen's ruining it. Beautiful yellow strap. It's just very yellow. You can't see. When you want to be a bit more garish on game
and
day.
for the Georgia fans on here too, obviously, you know, it says college football playoff, which you will not get for the LSU one, unfortunately, but right there.
You've made that point. Here's a little.
Just gotta keep hitting it.
What is, so that was a screwdriver. What is this?
So it's called a spring bar tool. So for that purple and yellow strap that kind of feels like seatbelt material, it's called a NATO strap. You need that tool to install the bars that hold that in place. And so you need two spring bars for that strap, but we include 3 because it's easy to lose one. So we give you an extra one just in case.
I love the red strap though. Love the red strap.
And then we have a side zipper pocket in there as well.
Yeah, so check out what's in that zipper pocket.
Ooh,
you got a couple little things. You got a warranty card.
So is this like a proof of authenticity or something here?
It's just your warranty card. It says you got 3-year warranty on all of our watches.
Okay.
And then there's another card in there with a QR code.
Yep, I got it here.
That takes you to
need help adjusting your timepiece.
Yeah, takes you to our YouTube channel where we got some how-to videos.
Okay, so I see. Okay, so if I want to put on the NATO strap, that's on there. How to micro adjust the buckle, change the straps, wind and set your watch, remove links from the bracelet, so you can do it all yourself. This looks like some pins here.
Yeah, so those are the pins you need for the NATO strap, but we include an extra one just in case you lose one.
And then a beautiful this is like a cleaning, a cleaning pad here.
Yeah, polishing cloth for your watch so you keep it looking nice and clean.
Okay, now I've been edging myself this entire time. Now it's time to look at the actual watches, guys.
Oh, you haven't looked at the watch yet?
I have not looked at the watch.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God, guys.
The shebang right away.
Oh my God. Look at
It does
that.
look nice. It does look nice.
Oh,
That purple is freaking hot. I love that sapphire
wow,
crystal dial.
dude.
That bezel. It's
Wow.
awesome.
And I mean, it
And
is.
feel the weight.
It's heavy. Okay, that's exactly what I would say. It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy, and it's a perfect fit. Let's go, dude. It's that's something too. I feel like a lot of times with when you're trying to judge a quality of something, nothing's worse than when it feels hollow, light, plasticky. There's a real heft to this. What does that come from?
Well, it's the material. So we use surgical grade stainless steel bracelet and case. And then the movement is a mechanical movement, hand assembled in Switzerland. So that's got some weight to it as well. So the whole thing all together, I mean, it's less than half a pound, but like you feel it. You feel the weight. You feel the quality.
Oh my God, guys. And on the back, now that is cool. If you like looking at like clockwork and machinery, look at that. The open face back. So that you can I'm trying to get it in focus here. The open face back so you can actually see the inner workings of this beautiful piece of tech.
Yep. Yeah. So the cool thing, so I'm going to geek out a little bit, if that's okay.
I want you to explain why the watches are so quality and about the making of, because yes, absolutely.
Well, so those mechanical movements, that technology was created about 250 years ago in Switzerland, and it's barely changed in 250 years. So the fact that a human being figured out how to engineer, this mechanism of springs, gears, and dials that need to be hand assembled and tell time accurately without the need for modern technology just blew my mind. So I just thought it was super cool. So there's like this old school cool aspect to mechanical watches. It's almost like vinyl versus like CDs. It's a little quirky, but it's cool.
Yes.
All right. And so those mechanisms are literally hand assembled in Switzerland.
Oh, damn.
So that's what really turned me onto watches, was just the human spirit that figured this out. And then when you wind a mechanical watch, you can tell a mechanical watch by the sweeping of the second hand. So it just kind of sweeps across the dial, whereas a quartz watch, it kind of jerks at every kind of minute. It just So not that it's good or bad, it's just different. But that sweeping of the second hand to me is really elegant. But then when you put a mechanical watch to your ear, the ticking almost sounds like a heartbeat. It's like it's alive. And so just all those elements to me, I just think it's cool.
Any big plans going forward, John? Obviously you want to continue to get licensed with the universities, but anything on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, I want to own college sports. It's authentic to my story. This brand came out of my experience as a college athlete a long time ago. I had a magical senior year playing lacrosse at Penn, and the watch the university gave us to commemorate the season wasn't so great. It always frustrated me. I had these great memories in this crappy watch, and that was the style at the time. And I'm not faulting the university, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. And so after 30 years of looking for a nice watch with the Penn logo to commemorate a special time in my life and not finding it, I said, you know what, I'll just do it myself. And, it's kind of my midlife crisis. And so it just started as a passion project, and it grew and grew. And because I think the concept resonates with people. I think, like you guys played in bowl games, like some really important games. And it probably would be nice to have a really cool watch to commemorate that bowl game experience.
Yeah. You're not just putting on the shelf, but like you'd actually wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, also again, the quality of the watches that we did. I'm talking about national championships, winning them, losing them. The rings and the watches are actual garbage quality. This is so cool, man.
So let me see if mine works.
Put it in front of your face, maybe. Put it in front of you because it seems to be trying to. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know if you can see that,
dude.
So that's the watch that's going to be in the gift suite for all the athletes.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the one that's on my website that you can see. So part of the package, the sponsorship package with CFP, when we were negotiating, I said, look, to me, it's really important that I create an heirloom quality piece for all the athletes who are competing in CFP. Because for many of these guys, this is going to be the pinnacle of their athletic careers. Like a lot of these guys aren't going on to the NFL. And to be able to say, hey, I played in that first 12-team playoff, like I want them to have something beautiful that they could order if they want to, right? It's going to be in the gift suite. They can order it if they want to. But it's basically the same watch, Aaron, that you have, but the dial is a CFP logo. It's like a radiating pattern, coming out from the middle, and it's pretty hot. It's got the CFP logo on the crown. It's got the CFP logo on the buckle. It's got the exhibition back case like you guys have with the CFP logo. And then we custom engrave on that back disc whatever the athlete wants. So it's really a dream come true, because it's exactly what I wanted when I was a player, and so now I'm getting to do it for everyone else.
I got to say too, I because I'm having trouble getting the camera to autofocus, I'm going to make a video about this later, but some of the detail on this watch really astounding. I like the so around the Bayou Bengals, around the edge, beautiful little like yardage markers, almost giving you a little football field. The Axia logo at the end of the second hand, or the hand that counts seconds. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah. Yep. Really subtle, wonderful touch. As you said, you really, I couldn't see, I won't be able to see this until I do a cell phone video, but the tigers on, is that the face? What would you call the back?
The dial.
Okay. Yeah. The repeating subtle kind of white embossed tigers on the dial. Awesome. And then I love, so there's 60 minutes in an hour. You even have sort of almost a hash mark feel in counting the 10, then like a space, then a 20 space, 30 space, 40, 50. God, this is so nice, John. I can't thank you enough, man.
Yeah,
My pleasure. Yeah, I hope you guys wear it in good health. Enjoy it. So Aaron, as a Bulldog and a Bulldog fan, you would probably like the Georgia National Championship watches we did in 2021 and 2022. To me, so the repeating pattern on the 21 watch, it's a red dial. It's got the Power G logo as the repeating pattern. But the even cooler one is the 2022 National Champions watch. The repeating pattern on the dial, it says "Go Dogs." It's so cool.
Hey, if you want to send more, come on now. Listen, come on now. You guys laying around, send them this way.
All the Bulldog alums and all the Tiger alums. Maybe we can create a custom watch for anyone who played football at LSU or Georgia, respectively.
Also, what was it? Is this true? What happens if your team wins the national championship? If you buy
so we've got an upgrade guarantee. So if you buy a watch and your team goes on to win the national championship, we'll upgrade you to the national champions design at no additional cost, because I don't want you to have to buy a second watch, right? Yep. And so I try to put myself in the shoes of the customer. Like if I was a customer, I wouldn't want to have to buy a second watch. So that's how we came up with the idea for the upgrade guarantee.
That's awesome.
Same thing for the extra straps. Like if I was a customer, I would want multiple straps so I could wear the watch in different settings, dress up, dress down, right? And so everything that we've done, and same thing, the reason my second hand is embedded at the base of my logos at the base of the second hand is because I wanted a Penn watch, a watch with the Penn logo. I didn't want some other brand on that, because that Penn logo means a lot to me, right? For you guys, LSU and Georgia logos mean a lot to you. Like you don't want the watch company's logo there. You want your alma mater's logo. Yes. And so that's why when we design the watches, we make our logo secondary, because the customer, that logo means a lot. We want to honor that logo and that color scheme.
Well, again, you see, guys, there's a cohesion to the philosophy, right? It's watches that tell more than time. And that's why the schools, the memories, that's why it's at the forefront, not the company logo. And then look at this. It just all goes right back in here, and then you fold it up, and you can take it wherever you need to go. It's crazy, man. Oh my God, this is so nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Look,
I'm glad you like it.
Back to
before we let you go, give us your prediction. Who wins the whole thing this year?
Oh man, yeah, I'm not good at that.
Come on,
you got to choose. Dude. No one knows
who's getting the free watch upgrade. Who's getting the free watch upgrade?
So to me, I think the championship game is going to be Georgia and then the winner of the Rose Bowl. Honestly, like you can't bet against Kirby Smart. He's got a month to prepare. Like how do you compete with that?
There you go. I look, we'll see. I agree with Kirby. I agree.
I want my upgrade. I want my upgrade.
Get it done. I want my upgrade.
We'll
see though. John, thank you so much, man. Guys, and thank you to Axia for sponsoring the show, man, and allowing us to help get the word out there.
Yeah. Appreciate the partnership, guys.
You the man.
Great work. Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
John.
All right, brother. Later. Sorry about the bad link. There you go. John Canaris, AxiaTime.com.
He was sitting in some
AXIA.
random ass StreamYard just chilling by himself.
I know. And then I'm not checking my phone during the show.
I'm glad. I went to go do my normal, check what the price of Bitcoin was, and then I saw this text message. So
just during the show.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not kidding. You just told on yourself. Oh my God. What is wrong with you? This is what I don't get about you Bitcoin price check excavators. Like, you're not going to sell it. So what does it matter if it's at 107 or 104?
It gives me a little harder during the show.
No,
that's
crazy.
You asked why I get people thought it was because of you gets me all juiced. When I see my wife after this show, it's because I'm checking the price like 3 or 4 times.
Bitcoin the entire time. Oh my God. Again, guys, I know some of you are like, oh my God, was this all just an ad? Well, first off, it was an ad, but also like me and Aaron love doing this show. And the only way we can do this show is if people pay us to. And Axia took a bet with us. So if you think the product, like if you think the watches are cool, which this is by far the coolest watch I've ever had, the nicest watch. Like I can wear this with suits, everything. Like if you think it's cool, man, and you want to support the show and also get yourself something cool, get a gift idea, support Axia, AXIA.com. Yeah, I'm really pumped. I mean, how in the world we got this deal? I have no idea. This seems like we're definitely punching above our.
The official watch of the college football playoffs.
The official watch of the CFB of the Heisman and of Snaps. Yeah, your favorite college football podcast. Some guy bought the UJ watch. Hell yeah, some guy. Let's go.
I thought you meant like just some guy in general. But
some guy in the chat.
I know.
His name is some guy. Yes, for those listening audio. Okay, last game of the day that we haven't talked about yet. Or have we? Yeah, we did Clemson, Texas, right?
We did Clemson, Texas.
Final game of the day, Tennessee at Ohio State. And Ohio State might be the most toxic school right now in the entire 12. Is that fair to say?
It is so toxic that have you seen all the reports that Tennessee fans are just gobbling up tickets because Ohio State fans? Oh my God. I think that's been like the hottest topic all day. The number of tickets that Tennessee fans are buying. I don't think it's going to be anything like outrageous, but it will be interesting seeing how much burnt orange is in that stadium, but it is not good. There's enough toxic discussion going around that we're even talking about Tennessee fans buying up tickets.
There is going to be so much anxious energy going into this game that I wonder if it actually does take away from the home field advantage. Not even just the ticket sales. I didn't know about that. That definitely does. But I'm talking about, have you ever been a part of those games, Aaron, where you can tell the crowd's more nervous and excited? And it's not good. It's not good. I mean, shit. I felt like I saw it at LSU this year. Ole Miss, there was just like a bloodlust in the air. It was like, bring it on. Alabama, it was kind of like, bring it on. Let's do this, right? Like, and I can't help but feel that Ohio State fans are going to have more of that anxiety here because look, the last time the fans were in that stadium, they suffered the worst loss that they have in years.
Is it anxiety or are they in the mode of if we lose, we at least get rid of Ryan Day?
Well, I think it's like, well, I mean, do you though? Because who do you hire? But we can get there in a little bit.
I don't know. I think you get knocked. You lose to Michigan, who you're superior to this year. You don't make it to the Big Ten championship, and then you get knocked out in your home stadium in the first round. With a $20 million roster?
Yeah, no, that's her. I know, but you have to have somebody to replace him with.
I know. You can find someone, right?
I mean, but isn't that the actual hurdle to get over? Because who would you hire right now? Who would you hire
right now?
Yeah,
right now, Kirk Cinetti.
Shit. Like you just go the Kalen DeBoer route. I don't hate that, right? Like just keep rocketing Cignetti up the
just rocking him right up.
Just right to the top. Okay. That's actually not the worst answer I've heard.
I mean, I'm be honest, like I don't know who else you would hire. You're not going to hire an OCDC.
No, no. Brian Kelly. Come take him. Anyway, I don't want to get into Ryan Day being fired yet. But what I mean, I guess what I'm saying, anxious Aaron, this is one of those games where that crowd is entering the game lubed up to be pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If this game starts poorly, it could legitimately spiral. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. It could legitimately spiral. The shot that I cannot get out of my head is Ryan Day as players are being pepper sprayed, fights going down, and Ryan Day looks shell-shocked. Like a World War I soldier that's been on the front line of the trenches for too long and whose brain is no longer working. And one of his players walks by him and he goes, "What's happened? Like, what's happening?" Like he was having a legitimate Saving Private Ryan, like time slowing down. What in the world? What's happening? Brother, you're the head coach. There's police pepper spraying the gang war that's going on. What's happening? Wake up.
This look.
Yes. Look at how bad that is. And it says Ryan Day.
Look at the advertising right next to it.
Hey, nice. The algorithm. But it says Ryan Day seemingly stood by and watched the Michigan Ohio State brawl. It's worse than that. He didn't know the brawl was going on. That's how.
He was in a different world, man.
He was in a different world. So the point is to go from that to this. If Tennessee starts fast here, Ohio State could crumble. This is a brittle Ohio State environment that you're walking into. And look, I love okay, here in terms of on the field, my biggest worry for Ohio State is the Buckeye offensive line.
Yes.
Because they have not run block particularly well all year long. And if you're talking about where Tennessee is great, it is in that front seven and getting after the passer and stopping the run. I think that Buckeye offensive line is going to struggle to find consistent success against Tennessee.
I agree with that. And just going from say offense, defense. I think you say neutral defense. I think both these defenses are really talented. I think very, very talented. I think Ohio State has the edge at right now, the quarterback a little bit. I just don't know what Nico you're going to get. Obviously, major edge at the receiving position. But in a game like this where it is going to be a little bit nippy, it's going to be in the 20s, you're going to want to run the football. It's a major advantage of Tennessee. Like Tennessee can line up and run the football. Yeah. My question is, with 3 weeks off and Nico playing in this game right now, I think Tennessee has to be a little bit more aggressive early. I think Tennessee has to find a way to hit a couple shots in the first and second quarter to loosen up Ohio State's defense. You cannot be conservative in this game. And I know you want to protect Nico. It's a weird balance of not freshman quarterback, but young quarterback, first season as a starter. You want to protect him on the road, cold environment. We got a run game, all that. But I think you have to against this defense. They're going to give you some shots because they're going to sell it to the run. They'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
I think Nico has to hit a couple shots. If Nico hits a couple shots early, his confidence goes up. It throws Ohio State off. I think Tennessee wins the football game.
I mean, cold defensive battle, right? Like you said, that's what this game is.
But you got to hit shots still. You got to hit shots.
No, I agree. No, I agree. But you're talking about Nico. What about Will Howard? Is he like, if Ohio State wins, it's because Will Howard is the difference, right? And
100%.
Objectively, Will Howard's been better than Nico all year long.
Yes.
And he's actually been awesome, except for the Michigan and Nebraska games, right? And even in the Nebraska game, he came up with the plays needed to win. I feel like this is a potential major redemption spot.
When he played great against Oregon,
for Will Howard. That's what I'm saying. No, he's been awesome, except it was just Michigan and Nebraska.
Yep.
And even Nebraska, he made the plays again to win the game. So, yeah, he's been great all year long.
Was he bad versus Nebraska? He was 13-16 for 220 and 3 touchdowns.
I guess because it was a close game. Like they had a lot of drives stalled out, but maybe if he only had 16 attempts, maybe
he only had 3 incompletions the whole game.
I was going to say maybe that's more of just like a play selection type deal.
I think it was because Nebraska just ate up the clock. From what I remember, let me pull
That's
it up.
also true. That's also
Nebraska
true.
had 35 minutes to 25 minutes, 10 more minutes of possession time.
Was there like a fumble somewhere? It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
So maybe his only bad. Okay, so to your point, his only bad game is Michigan then.
Yeah.
So why then do we feel so confident in Tennessee here?
Because they can't run the football. They are so
but Ohio State also does have the nation's #1 scoring defense. So, like, can Tennessee score?
I think it's a low-scoring game. I don't know if Tennessee can score. I don't know if Ohio State can score. So, like, you remember, it's funny how we almost talked you into picking Indiana. I was very close to flipping it to Indiana. I came into this conversation saying I think Tennessee's going to win. The more I think about it, I at least think that Ohio State can score because of the passing game. I do think that
Howard's better than Nico.
Thinking about Tennessee versus Georgia in Athens and Carson Beck having one of his best games against that secondary, when knowing that right now Will Howard's had a better season than Carson, that Will Howard has superior athletes to Carson, that why can't Ohio State have that kind of success throwing the football? It wasn't, I mean, yes, we can blame Will Howard for the last game, and he did not play well versus Michigan, but that was also a really bad game from Chip Kelly in his play calling. I don't think they make that same mistake again. I think they understand that they're going to have to throw the football if they want to win a championship.
God, what a fascinating game to think about, where it feels like things have almost been flipped in their head, right? Smash the Numbers, who's a resident Michigan fan here in the chat, says the colder it is, the better for Tennessee. Ohio State's finesse. Tennessee linemen need to go sleeveless to intimidate Ohio State psychologically. But that is kind of funny, right? You think Big Ten, and then every other Big Ten matchup, well, I guess not Oregon, to be fair. But when you think Big Ten, you think about like, okay, that's the team who wants to run the ball, who wants to play defense, who should thrive in the cold weather. But is this weather actually better for Tennessee?
Is mid to high 20s that cold?
You tell me, because I'm from Louisiana. I get cold in 40 degrees. So you tell me.
I think for Ohio kids, I don't think it'll feel like anything for them.
No, for them that's not.
I think for Ohio State finesse, then to me, if you're going to consider them a finesse team and it make a difference, I think it has to be like teens, windy, and a point where it's going to affect the passing game. If it's 28 degrees and windy, I think that screws it. But if it's 28 degrees and it's not windy, I don't think a team that is living in that day in and day out, practicing in it, it's going to affect their passing game.
Yeah.
28 degrees and your adrenaline's going from a fat guy standpoint to the offensive line, they're not going to feel 28 degrees. It's fine for them.
So I think this is kind of fascinating because I came into this show saying that home teams have massive advantages. I think 3 of the 4 home teams win. I was going to choose Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. I was
then when we talked it out, I was like, you know what? I like Indiana here. And now after talking this out, I find myself kind of going to Ohio State. I feel like I might have been overthinking this a little bit.
Yeah, I am too.
Both teams are similar. I mean, I do like
who has been more who do you trust? I trust Will Howard. I know it's crazy.
Yeah, it goes back to quarterback. That's what I keep going back.
I trust, and like I see the potential of Nico, but Nico's had more bad games than good games this year. I don't know what I'm going to get. If I knew what Nico I was going to get, I would probably pick Tennessee because of the run game. But I just don't know if you're going to get the consistency factor from Nico in this game, which comes down to like if Tennessee is going to win, Nico's got to hit a couple shots early to build on his confidence.
And like, what has
Tennessee's offense been so bad too in first half?
Has Tennessee seen a defense like what they're going to see this weekend?
Georgia.
And look what happened.
They came out. They actually started off hot, but then got cold real fast.
All right, but like, look at the rest of the year. Oklahoma was all right. Oklahoma
didn't face a great defense besides Georgia.
And Ohio State's the number 1 defense in the country. Okay, so I'm going to stick with my original thing of only 1 road team wins, but it actually now I'm choosing Indiana. I'm choosing Ohio State. I'm choosing Ryan Day to stave off. I'm not going to overthink it. No. Ohio State's won so many games last years. They have the better quarterback.
We know how good the roster is.
I feel like Tennessee's running the game. The roster's a little bit better. Tennessee's very good as well, but Ohio State's a little bit better top to bottom. They have the playmakers on the outside and a quarterback that can better take advantage of those playmakers than when you look at Tennessee. Now that we've talked it out, I'm going to Ohio State. What is
7?
7? I'll take Tennessee to cover, though.
I would take Tennessee to cover, too.
Close, like 17-13 game, you know? It says 17-13 written all over it.
The over-under, the total is 46. So I think they're expecting like a 24-17 type game. 24-20, 24-20 type game.
How crazy is it, again, to go back to our themes of defense and running the ball. that we're talking about a Ryan Day, Josh Heupel game. And we're like, I think it's going to be like 20-14 or like 17-13. Like, it just shows you how both those teams have adapted to try and find ways to win championships.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also have just they have massive flaws on offense too. Like I still
here though.
Yeah, they found ways. They found ways 100%. But like it's not just Nico too. The receivers have not been as good as we thought they were going to be this year for Tennessee at all.
No. All right, so there it is, guys. Preview show in the books.
Boom.
Huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Huge shout out to Axia Time. Y'all the best. We love you. Please hit the like button. Sub to the channel. We're trying to race that SEC podcast to 30K. Where are we at? We're at 27.3. See if we can push that to 27.4, guys. What about... What are
you doing?
Shit. That SEC podcast at 28.8.
Gotta get going, people. Come on.
Aaron, you got to go rogue and you got to do some QB breakdowns.
I gotta go show my nipples.
Fuck you. Nope. You got to do QB breakdowns. Your nipples ain't going to do shit. Okay. Not them hairy little things.
Just do like one and see if they notice it.
Yeah. Just like drop a little shadow one. So go go full Anon. Like, well,
it's funny. You go on YouTube and there's so many people doing it.
It pisses me off. Don't get me started.
But none of them obviously are ESPN employees.
Don't
like ESPN employees are handcuffed. We can't do it. But if you're not an ESPN employee, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I know.
It's just incredible.
And it's guys who don't have near the amount of institutional knowledge that you do.
None.
Shout out everybody hanging out in the chat. Thank you so much. Chad says, do you think we lose that sponsorship if we have another nipples out stream? No, again, that's what I love about these sponsors is that they love
nipples.
They love the content. Last thing, Skeleton Crew tonight, boys. Let's go. Star Wars. Can't wait. All right, guys. We love you.
Thursday.
See you later.